Hello and welcome to module number 6. My name is Greg, and in this module, we'll talk about the finances. I'm really excited about it because this is, the reason why we do it. Right? It's earnings, finances, and getting, having control of what's happening. So this is what we'll talk about. Let's start right away. So we'll talk about keep clear records, track your earnings and spending, plan for your car cost. Well, depending on the car you have, obviously, if it's a newer, older vehicle, it could be 10, but it could be more, right? 10 more, 15%. So set money aside for car expenses like maintenance and insurance and other costs. Fuel, save on fuel, 10-15%, again, depending what car or vehicle you drive. Find ways to spend less on gas, like using efficient routes or to avoid traffic and discount and look for discounts. Number 4, understand taxes. Know what you can deduct and plan for taxes when the time comes, right? And save money for the future. So create a master plan, and that's what we'll talk about. So let's start. All right, keep clear records. What I mean by that, track what you earn and spend. Daily earnings. Remember, some tips may appear the following day or even a week, as I mentioned earlier, right? Keep your receipts when driving, as far as like fueling, eating out, bring your own versus waiting in line to get it, and even fast food, sometimes it takes time, and that uses your time to relax, or you're out there, like instead of driving you're relaxing, you're waiting for your food, but sometimes that's what you got to do, right? Snacks, healthy versus less healthy, right? Or do you really need snacks? Like, depending how long you're actually out driving, sometimes you do. I mean, it's like your fuel, right? So it's obvious you need some of that. Cart maintenance, okay? And focus on your goals and your outcome. So write down in your journal, like, now is an excellent time to start one. If you didn't have one, start journaling. It's like, what is working, what's not working. So looking on those records, and then like coming home and going over it, like summarize this for the week, for for a month, and see if it's working out for you. I wouldn't really listen too much of what others may say. Just focus on those that really have a real constructive opinions, or what's working in your area, because honestly some of the things may work for Uber, and then, as I mentioned earlier, that you didn't expect to hear that, but maybe if you will drive, Lyft would work better in your town. I'm not saying Uber is the best everywhere, right? That's just what works for me. All right, let's see. Now this is kind of a bonus. I want to share with you what I journal for Uber X, for my over 11, almost if not 12-year-old car, Toyota Camry in Columbus, Ohio. I enter always. I keep my calendar. Matter of fact, I have that calendar like right here. That's what I use when I write stuff down. And what do I keep records of? Okay, my odometer, like when I start, when I end. My total earnings by the end of the day also shows, obviously, in the Uber app, but this is what it is. This is the example, like for the holiday that I'm working on St. Patrick's Day. So I started late at 8 p.m. and I ended at around shortly after midnight. So I drove 4.5 hours, and I made it $119, and I also made $20 cash, which it really, and then again, it depends on the area where you drive, and sometimes you'll get cash, but more often than not probably you won't, but it happens. So my earnings went to almost $31 an hour. Is that good or bad? Well, it's really up to you to decide. I'm not gonna say. To me, I was happy for that night to make almost $140 in 4.5 hours. And on a regular day, if I when I before I got my full-time job, I was working mornings or like afternoons, and I was testing, and sometimes I didn't have much time. So I started at 3 p.m., ended at 10 p.m., 7 hours, $150. That's how I made. I had something going on that day, so I ended at 10 p.m. Now, if I would continue on driving, could I make extra $50? But I would have to drive past midnight, and the answer is yes. I think I could make, I could have made $200 that day. But then again, I also calculate things like how much my vehicle is, burning gas. So that's the example, like my auto, like odometer start and end, and then you calculate, subtract that, and then you get the total for the day, and then you divide this for the amount of fuel you're getting. What I was typically doing when I drove that car strictly for Uber is I would get gas either at the beginning or at the end of the day. That way I knew how much fuel I was putting in, and I could calculate, am I burning more or less fuel? And then, at least it gave me an average. This one is 23 miles per gallon. Of course, if you have a hybrid or electric, it's completely different, right? But that's just I wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, let's move on. Plan for car costs, right? As I said, fuel every day. I fueled every day, so I was really consistent, and I didn't have to worry about being short or as far as like I could plan where I fuel. So which I'll get into that in a moment. Maintenance. Oil change, filters, fuel, fluids, brakes, tune-up. Insurance, it's either once a month, once a quarter. If you can't pay for the whole year, you probably can even save some money right there. Car cleaning supplies, car wash, and then the complimentary supply for the riders, right? Okay, save on fuel. Find ways to spend less on gas. Plan ahead. Like I said, you can plan ahead and not wait until the last moment, like you're running out of fuel and you're just trying to get the closest gas station, and because you're in a hurry, and then that will help you to avoid that. And then if you got Costco gas station nearby, you go there, or it's the app that when I told you about, is I do recommend getting the app site, and or Sam's Club. It's just any of those. But like I said, if you do it every day or you plan ahead, you don't have to worry. It's like, okay, I'm out of fuel. What I do or what I go, keep up with the maintenance. I told you that earlier. But then again, it's the more you plan, the better you're off. Avoid rapid acceleration, hard braking, and speeding. Maintaining a steady speed, and anticipate stops to reduce the need for sudden braking, so that way you can also save on fuel, right? This is just or consider hybrid or electric vehicle, right? If you own one, there you go. Maybe you're ahead, right? Or maybe it's like you will enjoy driving Uber, and you can switch to electric, and then Uber also offers some discounts on that as well. They can help you out, which is in the app. All right, understand your taxes. You can deduct the mileage. It's 58.5 cents per mile when you drive business. Actual expenses, oil changes, maintenance, repairs, insurance, registration fees, late lease payments, or the depreciation of your vehicle, and parking fees, right? Phone and internet, tools and parking fees, safety and cleaning supplies, um, like cameras and stuff like that that will help you in your safety. You can deduct that. There's a lot more. But listen, I'm not the tax expert, so please, verify all the information with your tax accountant, and then find out what is exactly that you can deduct in your case, in your area, your state, and just to be sure, and so there you won't have any surprises like at the end of the year or the beginning of the year that you'll owe the money. So you don't want to do that, right? So save money for the future. Now here's the master plan. It's just like set the financial goals. What do you do this for? Like as far as driving an Uber, is it school, is it vacation, house, paying off the credit card, retirement? I mean, I don't know. It's so track your expenses, know the numbers. How much is it gonna take me, or is it gonna be how many miles? Like you will get used to kind of calculating in your head. When you go somewhere, how much fuel you're gonna burn and how much it's gonna cost you. Create a budget. Keep track of your earnings and expenses. What you can do is set up your account to save automatically. So for automatic transfer from your checking to savings. So let's say if you have Uber transferring you're getting paid every Monday morning. So on Monday you can have that as 10%, for instance, or more transfer, or the set amount transfer to your savings account. So you don't, preferably not, you won't even see that in the checking. So is this something that's going to happen with you actually clicking and transferring the money? It's just going to happen every Monday. Minimize the expenses. Look for the most cost effective things as far as like insurance, and how you can reduce costs of eating out, maybe, right? Or bringing with you coffee versus buying coffee out, right? Drive strategically. So optimize your driving, as mentioned earlier. Schedule the time when you can make the most money, right? And minimizing the expenses. So try to avoid traffic or routes where the traffic is. Take the advantage of Uber benefits. Uber does offer some like free school, as I've mentioned earlier, free Costco membership. They do offer that as well, and then some discounts on gas and vehicle maintenance. And most importantly, stay focused on your goals, guys. Like, I'm serious. Like, review it. Like, you have it somewhere handy with you every morning or evening before you start. Read those things, like, why you do it. Have a picture, as I said before, and then this will really help you to stay on track, okay?